guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to teach how to achieve the perfect half cake. I know it has always come as a wonder to a lot of people how to achieve these half cakes, typically used for milestone birthday celebrations like the 6 months birthday celebrations and all of that. So usually a lot of people have asked me in time past how I've been able to achieve it without necessarily having to waste cake. Some people just cut some part off and then they toss the rest, but I'm here to teach you the very sustainable and economical way to work and still achieve your perfect half cake. Alright, so in achieving a standard size of the half cake, you're going to be needing 2 sheets of 10-inch around 10 inches cake, 2 sheets of it as seen in this video now. If you want your cake to be flatter, probably just a smash cake that isn't going to be really tall, you can just use 1 sheet of the same cake. Alright, all you need to do is just to cut it into equal halves and then just flip it over each other. But if you want it to have 4 short layers, you can then first cut this into 2 and then you then still go ahead to cut it into 2 here, so you just layer it 4 times. But today I'm going to be working with 4 layers, but I'm going to be working with 2 sheets of a 10-inch cake. If you use any size bigger than this, your half cake might not look really realistic. If you use any size smaller than this, your half cake might look a bit too tiny, except that is exactly what has been requested by the client. So let's get right to it now. So you're definitely going to be needing a long serrated knife for you to be able to cut once and for all. You necessarily don't need a tape measure. All you need to do is just to eyeball your cake size. Already your cake comes in round, as seen here. Both cakes here, red velvet cake and chocolate cake, both come in the same size and dimension. So all I need to do now is I'm just going to put my long knife on the half mark of it. If you are not sure yet, it's better you actually use a tape measure so that you can know. Probably this is 10 inch, so you're trying to get 5. Do you understand? But because I'm just going to eyeball it, because I've been doing this for some time now, so I will just cut it like this into 2 halves. Alright, so I have 2 halves now. Okay, so then I'm going to repeat the same process. This is chocolate cake, so I will be repeating the same process that I just did with the red velvet, with the chocolate cake. Put it down like this and also try to get 2 equal parts here. I think we have that now. Yeah. So this is basically how to achieve the half cake. So all you now need to do is, I'll just take one of it away now. I can still put it here. So now we have the half cake. So I'll just go ahead to fill it and cover it nicely. The bottom sides are clean and ready to be used. So this is the first layer that is going to be now. So I will just level it out because just because I really need it leveled. So I trim up the part on the top that seems a bit raised. See here. You can always you don't really need to trash this, okay, because there are a lot of things you can actually do with your cake crumbs and all of that. If you make cake pops, you can use it to make your cake pops. If you make cake sickles, you can use it to get that achieved nicely, and you can actually just simply snap on it. You really don't need to waste anything. So this is the first layer now. So I'll just go ahead to add some cream to sandwich it. Note that it's going to come off looking like just like a 5-inch cake. Remember that it's half of a 10-inch cake that I used. So yeah, I'm not going to put in a lot because now it's not a large cake now, and I'm still going to be putting just a bit of filling just to give it a little extra richness. So just a spoonful of this filling goes right into it. The reason why I have my hands gloved, see why I'm using my hands to take out the excess, because the filling is actually pretty thick and rich. So I'm done with that now, and then I'll go ahead to add some crushed cookies. Like typically it's been like that for me over time, that I'm always very particular about my clients enjoyment. Like I always go the extra mile to make sure that they have an amazing experience every single time. So, and then I just take a little bit of more cream to just plaster this together because of that friction that is going to come up when I place the second layer over it. I hope you understand. Like, if I just place the second layer over the fillings like that, there wouldn't be that desirable binding effect, and probably in transit or anything, you stand the risk of having it maybe shift off or anything unpleasant like that. So I always add the additional cream. So at this point, I'm going to get the second bit of cake because I'm going to be mixing the layers. Okay, so it's going to have a mix of red chocolate, and chocolate. So we go now, repeat the process. Same. If you guys notice that it looks almost as exact as possible, despite the fact that I didn't even have to use a tape measure, and that's how you know that practice makes perfect, really. So if you try it for the first time and it seems like it's not equal, just know that you get it over time. And to save yourself all of that stress and guesswork, just use your tape measure, a clean tape measure, specifically dedicated to just your cakes, and you can then just use it to get your accurate dimension. So you don't need to chop, because I'm still going to be trimming this anyway because of the ankles at the back. I trim all my cakes despite the fact that they are moist, but I always want my clients to have, you know, that nice experience, no dry parts or anything. So, and to always make sure that the sides are very even, most importantly, because even if I don't trim, it's not like my clients are going to have a dry crusted cake or anything, but just to make sure that there's a very good precision with my the results, straight sides and all that. Because sometimes, you know, the way baking time and baking pans and everything can typically change the size, you know, and the structure of your cake. So the only way out is to just have it trimmed slightly. See, oftentimes and not, we realize that some of the chips and the hacks that we need to, you know, work with to up our game or to, you know, take an order that's been sort of like a challenge or confusing, it just really takes adding 2 and 2 together. Really, it's really not hard sometimes. Like this now, who would have thought that I could take out a full cake and turn it into a half cake without having to waste a large chunk of the remaining parts? Like, look, for everything I teach here, I've always had like a bad experience that actually brought me to this point. I remember that when I just started baking, I got a booking from a client. I think I was just about less than a year in the business, so I got a booking from a client to make a half cake for the child. So after adding the 4th layer now, this is what we have now. So what I'm just left to do will just be to have some fine tuning done, trim off any part that I feel it's a bit bulgy, and then I can go ahead to also add, you know, a dowel rod or something to just give it. You remember that now that it's a half cake, it's going to have a lesser kind of support, it's not a full cake anymore. So in as much as you make a pretty looking cake, you really don't want it to like collapse. So for starters, I would always advise that if you're making a half cake, always try making, you know, the flatter, you know, options first, so that you can first get your grip on that before you start taking on the challenge of making the high ones like this one. So that way you can just use a single layer. So can I get the dowel rod stick? So just go ahead to make a single layer, and then you can determine how you feel with that one. So I'm going to be going ahead to use this now. It's bigger than the dimension. Just cutting it. See, dowel rod goes in. So I'm just putting it right in. So you know that gives it automatic support. Automatic support for it. Go ahead to just add this one to just press it all the way down. So now we have support. See, the right is like the support. So The cake layers have been nicely placed together and filled and all of that. So, and I've also trimmed to the best ability that I can. So now I'm just going to start putting the cream on the body to crumb coat it. Afterwards, I'll be returning it into the freezer because now this is a cream cake, precisely whipped cream. So I'm going to be adding some cream to seal in the crumbs and all of those things, which is called the crumb coating. I never omit this step when I'm making a whipped cream cake because that is the only way that I can get this smooth finish at the end of the day. So after doing this, I'll return the cake into the freezer for a few hours. It could be 2, it could even be more, depending on how fast I need to work on it. But there is really no time limit, but at least a minimum of 30 minutes works fine. So after that, I'll come back to apply the final coat on the body, and then I'll just design it accordingly. But basically, this is actually what a half cake looks like. So however you decide to design it, to adorn it, to top it or anything, this is the result you're going to get as long as you follow through with the instructions that I stated earlier on. So I wouldn't know if I will be back to show you the finished result because it might take a little bit of time for me to chill it and then come back to decorate it. But in the meantime, this is what it's going to be like. I'll probably post the result later, but for now, this is what a half cake looks like. So that will be all for today. I hope that this video was insightful. I hope that you learned something new, and I hope that as a baker you will try this out and definitely post your results and let me see. If you have any more questions, you can always drop it in the comment section and I will be sure to respond to it as fast as I can. Alright, so and as always, click the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you will always be the first person to know when I drop something new as often as I can. So till next time, I remain your favorite girl, Famous Desserts Viewer. Bye bye.